Oh, hello. Come on and join me for a high tea. I understand that's what happens over here. I've never actually done a high tea, but I like the sound of it. If you had a choice between having high tea or being low tea, which would you choose? Me, I would have the high tea even if I were low tea. Now, I know some of you are going to say having high tea sounds like a low tea thing to do, but that wouldn't be funny. You see the room? So there's a painting in this hotel suite, and I need your help coming up with a name for this guy. All right? So look behind me. See that guy? See that sour expression he's got in his face? Could you help me come up with a name for him? I was thinking, Duke of Unhappiness, or the Viscount of Grimacing, something like that. The Sourpuss, Bentley, Frowny von Frauenstein, Andrew Waxon, Duke of Depression. Those are pretty good. Yeah, he seems like the unhappiest guy in the world. He actually looks like Sir Grumpalot. Lord Bus. I think I mentioned in the last Periscope that Tim Kaine's grandfather. All right, so why are half of these are funny? Gosford von Cracking Wise, Staley Pictures, Lord Spanger. Oh my God, this is way funnier than I thought it would be. Duke Grumpy, Count Frauenstein, Lord Huffington. Oh my God, those are all funny. I hope the rest of you are reading these, because there are actually a lot of gems in there. You got a book promotion coming on? Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing any book, any commercials in my Periscopes. But thanks for asking. Baron von Titers. All right, so enough of the Baron. But I am in England. I don't know. Are barons a thing, or is that just Germany? I don't know my barons from my viscounts, and I don't mind admitting it. So let me tell you my annoying London story today. This is not stopping, is it? All right. So here's my funny London story. So of course everybody in London is super polite. Way more polite than I'm used to experiencing. And for the first day and a half, I thought, man, this is great. I wish I were around polite people like this all the time. The more polite they are, the better they are, right? It just seemed to follow. But already by the coming to the third day, I can find there's a double edge to the politeness. So we've got these electronic room keys that you swipe, and I couldn't get in the room, and I was swiping, and it's not like I have never done it before, or even have never done it for these, this very room. But it just didn't work, no matter what I did. So I had to go to the front desk. And by the way, I'm like dying in some kind of, I think I got food poisoning or something. I'm about to double over. But so I try, and I go down, and I'm feeling bad. So I want to get in my room and try to get some Tums or something. And I go down to the desk and I say, all three of these cards don't work. So I had three of them, because once before I couldn't get in either. So they made a couple extra. So I said, all three of these cards don't work. And the very polite woman at the front desk um, said, she checked them and she said, well, at least the one of them works. So she goes, come up and come with me. And I'm like, oh, damn it. Now that I know it works, just let me try it again. I'm thinking to myself, but I don't say that. So she escorts me all the way up to my room. And she stands there, and I have one of the keys, and I start to try it again. And she stops me, politely. And then she takes one of the keys, and she just swipes it down, green, and it comes on. And I'm so mad because she made it look so easy. And I think the one she tried was the one that I swore wouldn't work at all. But here's the polite part. The fact that she was so polite somehow made it worse because I feel like in her mind there's like some extra hatred for me or feeling of stupidity that I couldn't figure out. This complicated. Oh, really? Lost connection? Yeah. So if you missed some of it, the bottom line is that oh God, my stomach hurts. Bottom line is that there's some exact speed you have to do it, and I think I had tried 900 of the 400,000 ways that you could do this at the exact right speed. Restart the periscope. You were too fast. Everything's not exactly like home. Oh. Anyway, as I was saying, massive stomach ache. So if I end this early, that's why. Yeah, it was the right room. I'm pretty sure I got that part right. London Stan. So, anything happened today that was interesting? Anything happened with? Oh, we talked about the Pence debate last time. Trump is leading in Virginia. Now, was he leading in Virginia before? Or is that a recent change? And why would there be such a big move? Seen any burqas? I've seen head coverings. Tonight, more leaks. Clinton ahead in Arizona. So those two states flipped, Virginia and Arizona. That would be pretty embarrassing if Kane can't carry his state. Wasn't that one of the reasons they wanted him? Oh yeah, there was the Hillary planted the kid to ask the question. You know, there are so many things going on in this election that there are things that would have been like a gigantic problem if it was the only thing that happened. But at this point, there have just been so many things that have happened that either one of them could do something that would be totally career-ending for anybody else. And it makes you wonder exactly what the limit is. I'm starting to think that Trump was telling the truth when he said he could shoot somebody in Fifth Avenue and get away with it. Because at this point, let me put this to you as like a hypothetical, a little bit of thought experiment. If one of them actually committed murder between now and Election Day, do you think they'd lose all their votes? I don't think they would. Because people would say, well, it sort of depends why he or she murdered. It doesn't matter which one it is. Because just consider this, right? Imagine if in real life Hillary Clinton just freaking murdered somebody in front of 100 witnesses and TV cameras. But she had a good reason. Totally illegal, not a revenge or self-defense, no, not a self-defense thing, but she just had a good reason. And people thought, oh my God, it's only a week before the election, and if we put her in jail, Trump is president. So half of the country would say, well, let's take our time on this. Let's delay that trial, and maybe she can pardon herself when she's president, and Really? She only killed one person? She only killed one person? So, at least in front of us, as far as we know. So if she only killed one person, and you're thinking, in your mind, if you're thinking, my God, Trump is the next, coming of Hitler, and he could kill 100 million people. He could wipe out the entire planet with his Trumpiness, whatever you're afraid of. We're actually at a point, one of them could kill somebody and would still be elected president as long as the election happened before the trial. I mean, they could be in jail on charges, but if the election happened and they got elected, and by the way, can a president pardon themselves? Oh, here's what would happen. The president, what she could do is get elected president, immediately resign to work on the trial, and then have Tim Kaine pardon her. Totally get away with murder. And I think I'm just giving Hillary Clinton a free pass to murder anybody she wants. All right, work with me on this. If you missed the first part, this is just a thought experiment. Let's say it's a week before the election, and it's neck and neck. Hillary Clinton murdered somebody in front of witnesses and cameras, there's no doubt about it, and it wasn't self-defense. It was just murder, right? People say to themselves, uh-oh, if we don't vote for her, it's going to be Trump, and Trump will kill 1 billion people with his fingers on the nuclear button. So, if you hold it against Clinton that she murdered somebody in front of witnesses, you get Trump, and maybe he destroys the whole planet. Now, I don't think Trump is dangerous, but if that's your point of view, you'd have to, and it is probably if you're a Clinton supporter, you'd have to weigh that, and you'd say to yourself, well, let's elect Clinton. She's been charged, but you can be elected when you're charged, and then she can step down immediately and have Tim Kaine pardon her, and there you go. And then she could serve as his, chief of staff and really run the country anyway. So that's how she could get away with murder. Obama would pardon her. Yeah, same situation, right? That's even better, because Obama could say, "Oh no, he's down in Pennsylvania." So these are new polls. Who has the newest polls? He's down. So he's down more than he's up, right? But isn't it weird that he would be up in any of the states? And those are big changes, right? Up in some states, down in others. What would account for that, other than the polls being ridiculous? Yeah, Comey would say it was just careless. He's tied in New Hampshire. Well, Pennsylvania. Trump is up in Pennsylvania? Wait, that can't be right. I don't know if the polls can be hacked, other than you can tweak the assumptions any way you want. It's down 3 in Florida. Why would Trump be down 3 in Florida? I thought he was ahead in Florida. Rasmussen up. The Rasmussen is the one where they always like him, right? Have I seen the Queen yet? No, but if you follow me on Snapchat, you can see that we did visit the Queen's house. Some call it a castle. Oh, he's more ballots ahead? That's interesting. You're talking about the early voting? Nate Asbestos. Christina's nearby. You saw me training the virtual polar bear? Pretty cool, huh? On Snapchat, it's just my name followed by 925. So Scott Adams 925. They found Hillary ballots in the warehouse. Yeah, it was Buckingham. Rasmussen. But Rasmussen is the one that always has had Trump up. In the LA Times, those are the two that just always seem to have him up. Yeah, I'm a little bit out of the news. Hillary poisoned Scott, could be. I haven't been following the news as much because I'm in London at the moment. No, no one in the UK has recognized me, but Christina, the minute we got here, somebody messaged her on Instagram and asked if that was her at Embarkment Station, and it was. Do I follow the 538 polling models? Well, I dip in and read what 538 has to say once in a while, but I don't follow it closely. Is Kim Kardashian an inside job? Probably. I think I would agree with the experts who said that. Yeah. Yeah, and at the airport, we're going at the airport, and one of the security women stopped Christina and said, "Are you famous?" Apparently there's some famous, good-looking wrestling women on television. Followed by my age. Still a Trump landslide? I'm sticking with it. Trump landslide. No, not China. Somebody much younger. What explains Rasmussen and LA Times poll differences? I don't know. Usually the assumptions, right? Or how they weight them. I'll be back home on the 14th. Everyone secretly loves Trump now. Yeah, I don't think everyone. Oh, I didn't see him spanking the pundits, which sounds more sexual than it probably needs to be. Consistent oversample. First hurricane isn't. Has the hurricane hit yet? That's how out of it I am. Nothing more than personal intuitions. What was it before? It's all based on what you know and what you've experienced. Chris Christie's helping him prepare. That seems like a good person to do that. Why does Putin hate Hillary? I think he knows that Hillary's going to be more of a badass, at least for Russia. Who writes Dilbert when you're gone? I write them in advance. Farage. I have a great voice. Do you know how ironic that is? Because 3.5 years of my adult life I couldn't speak physically. But thank you. Hurricane is the October surprise. How do you think the hurricane would affect anything? I don't see, anything big that happens. No, actually, let me give you a theory. One theory on the hurricane, I don't know if anybody else is making political predictions based on the hurricane, which I suppose is terribly bad for him because, the victims of the hurricane have to be in the top of our minds. Oh, yeah, okay. Just in the sense that both of them will visit the disaster sites, I guess. But if they both do, actually this is interesting because Has Clinton's schedule changed? In the sense that is Clinton doing more events? Is it more active? Because if there's a hurricane disaster and Trump visits just because he does more stuff, do you want to say hi? Say hi. Jump on anytime you want. Do you still have the games you made? Games? You mean the Dilbert games? Oh, Dilbert is doing more events. Yeah, so a couple ways it could affect things is that let's say Trump visits the disaster area and Clinton doesn't. That's possible. Although I think that's unlikely. And, well, no, I'll give it a 50% chance likely. And the other way would be indirect, which is, I've said before that the more frightened you are, the more likely Trump looks like a good idea, because he just has that daddy vibe versus Clinton has the mommy vibe. And so if things are going well, you want to hug in a sandwich for mom. If things are scary, sometimes because we're sexist to our core, sometimes maybe you prefer dad. I suppose that depends on your personal family history. WTF. Donald Jr. taking on 3 pundits. Okay, I'm in a lot of pain right now, so I'm gonna sign off. I got this massive stomach ache. Must be something I ate. But I'll try to catch up with you guys tomorrow. All right, bye.